Good evening, Mr. K. Thank you for joining. So it's there. I want people to join us more. I just want people that are business minded. Let them just automatically join me by 6 o'clock. That is the major reason why I don't post it online. That I'll be here by 6 p.m. I already want people to know that by 7:30 a.m. every Saturday I'll be here. Then 6 p.m. every Sunday I'll be here. Though I was having a meeting, I have to run out of that meeting then just to catch up with you guys here. So, effects challenges that you can face when you want to start small business. There's a friend, there's one of our friends there that we're discussing something at the course of the week. Thank you for joining this week anyway. Let me just welcome everybody once. Mrs. Grace Oladuni, thank you. Mr. Alaba, thank you. Every house, thank you. Mrs. Tolu Lokwe, thank you. Mr. K. So I want people keep sharing and let people join us so that we'll have more numbers of people. So some of the challenges that small scale businesses may face, they are due to finances sometimes. So, and that is why we call it small scale business. So if you want to work as a small scale business owner, there are things you need to just consider. Happy Sunday to you, ma. So, financial constraint and managerial capacity. So let's talk about that before I go to the next ones. I'll be talking about four four key factors that a small scale business will have to face: the financial constraint and the managerial capacity. Then if there is something like infrastructure support, then some of the regulatory about an environment, the market competition. So if you want to start a business, actually you need money. So, and most time when you want to start a business, it's a wide topic. So, and that's why if it is one we can just talk about. So the first one is the financial constraint. So if you are starting a business and you don't have enough cash, it will really affect your business. Mr. Oni, thank you for joining us. So if the first factor you need to consider is money when you're starting a business, because without capital you can't do a successful business. So in doing a successful business, you need a capital to start, which is money. And I have said something on this live video sometimes in one of our business section. I said sometimes we were doing a kind of business at a particular place and we changed the business. We're doing clothing business, we're selling clothes, and we have to change the business to provisions. And when we started selling provisions in that street, we were selling like normal selling stuff. You go to somewhere, you buy something of 15 naira. Those are what we were doing. And at the end of the day, though the market was moving at that time, and before you know it, somebody else rented a shop around that environment in just like two shops and two poles near to that place. If you are hearing me, please just let me know. Somebody said network issue. So happy Sunday, Mr. Alexander. So and you already have the money. What you have is to just start a little business, and you are doing this business little by little and money is coming. But all of a sudden, somebody got another shop there, and this person came by selling wholesales as a provision store owner. So when he started selling wholesales, and before you know it, what will happen to somebody that is just selling normal before that oh, when somebody comes, they buy 100, 200, and we discovered that at a point in time, the person that has the highest money, that has good money to start up with that small scale business, he was able to take all the customers that we have. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So financial constraint. So if you have money and you don't have sufficient money, and that is why you will see a lot of businesses crumbling in our environment today. I used to say it when people talk about provisions. I said we've tried it before, but as a matter of fact, we ended up not having more sales when somebody else came and opened an wholesale shop very close to our shop. So what will happen to the person that just started with just 300,000, 500,000? It means that at a point in time, people that were still coming to you, they will know that, oh, if I'm buying a spag of 1,000 naira from you, and that person wants to sell on wholesales, is going to sell for 900 naira. Can you see the difference now? So people will rather go to the one selling wholesales and leave you that you are selling 1,000, of which at that point, the you that was selling 1,000, it will now lead to you losing customers and probably some of your goods or what you are selling. Before you know it, is going to just waste, or you run at loss in that area. And that is why when people bring business ideas and they want to do business, and I will look at you, is this something you are ready to fund very well, or is this something that you are capable of doing? You know, sometimes it's not just to have a kind of little money. Oh, I have 100,000, I have 1 million, I have 500,000. I want to start provision store. If you are not careful, that business will crumble again, and we'll feel like it's something that is happening to us. No, it is because we did not understand that there are a lot of factors that need to be considered at a particular time if we are choosing one type of business that we want to do. So we lost so many customers in those aspects, and the ones selling wholesales took over the old customers in that street, and she started selling. And at the end of the day, it's not as if this same person will still make money in that business if care is not taken. Because at the end of the day, those ones that I think has gotten their attention, somebody else again can just come up again and still start wholesales. So all these things are one of the major factors you need to consider. Majorly, the financial constraints is a wide topic, and I just want to bring it to a layman knowledge. I don't want to talk, if I bring some of the terms, so we just talk on our own lame knowledge ways, so that people will understand. So when you are doing business, you need to put into consideration, just like a brother of mine were thinking of working towards, it's not even that Mr. Ajayi, the first person. So the second person that I volunteered that is going to be doing piggery farming. We were trying to look at the resources we have on ground. Yes, we have he has a land where he knows is secured. Security is like trying to do a piggery farming, a livestock farming business, and he has a land, and that land he knows that is secured with the look of things. So once this land is secured, yeah, you want to start a business that is not as if we have much capital. Then I raised the opinion that, do you know, if we cannot source for maybe used materials, or we have some materials on ground, then if we are to construct the house of those piggery farming, the livestock. Sorry, don't see the queen. Sorry. So, if we are to start that, before you know it, the capital you use in starting it, for you to balance up, it will be very, as in, capital intensive, because you have to build the house for those pigs. You, at the end of the day, probably you buy blocks, you buy sand, you buy granite, you buy cement, you buy roofing sheets, you buy wools, you buy nets. So all these things will definitely affect your startup. So, and at the end of the day, maybe you spend 2 million naira on that, because when you have not started, you will not know that you spend that much. But if you are not careful, you will end up spending more to what you would have just rented a place. Start little, because we are talking about small scale business now. So starting little, then as time goes on, you keep improving on it. Then probably, if we don't have a place before that we want to just construct, then why not just change the plan, get a place rented, probably for 2 years. Then in 2 years time, it is now possible for you to just get your own place, build up, and start doing your own livestock farming in that your own particular land that is secured. So when we are starting business, we need to consider the financial implications. So those are the things that will help us to navigate a small scale business easily, that we don't have to just waste money. And I talked about the managerial capacity. If you are starting a business and you lack skills, expertise on this business, it's actually going to affect your business. Why I'm picking livestock now is because it is something that we've actually want to try, and I feel I don't want us to talk on provisional aspect now. So why I choose the livestock business now. Yeah, very good. The second one is managerial capacity, sorry, not capital. So if you lack skills, in fact, if you're not expertise on what you have done, and that is the more reason why you need to just get a place rented. In the course of you renting a place for 1 or 2 years and doing your business with those people, you would have learned some little things that you need to know. Even if at the end of the day you are going to leave that place, then you know, as you are leaving, you are going with skills, you are going with managerial capacity, with expertise. Then you will be expert in those things. Even if at the course of these 2 years, you will know that, these are the kind of foods that these things needs to eat. These are the kinds of, so you just know that these are the kind of environment, these are the kind of conditions which will allow these pigs to breathe well, to do well in a particular point when you are rearing them. So most time, if we are starting business, we just need to know that there are things you need to put into place. We've considered the financial constraint. So I used to say, when you don't have much money, you need to know the kind of business you do. And if you don't have much money and you want to do a business, it is even better for you to just go into learning a skills. So when you have been able to learn a skill, it will be easier for you to now expand on the skills that you have learned. This is how it is. Now, you have little money. You don't have money, but you want to be a business person. It is easier for you. Let me use it this way. I have had a friend who is a motor mechanic, a rewire, and this was what they learned, and they've been doing this business. And at a point in time, they will just see they have been able to gather some money, and once he gather money like that, then he bought one car. He will buy one car from used car, right? So if he has to touch some things, do some things, tidy it up, wash it, do the fender, those things, maybe you use panel-beater, work on the fender, work on the bumper, work on the interior, put a new rugs in the car, then the car become at least manageable again to sell out for somebody. Then before you know, at the end of the day, some of them make even 100,000, 50,000 on the cars they bought. And because they know that there's no, even if they have just 3 million, putting it in one business that they do not know much about. So it will definitely affect the state of their business at a particular point in time. I'm not even talking about the economy or, in fact, the environment now. I'm still talking on you getting more finances than you getting more skills on the business you're about to do as a small scale business. So if in most cases, and that is why you see that in most cases, if I want to talk here on my live video, I'm always open to tell you that you just need to learn a trade. And the last gist we have on business section last week, I was able to tell us that if you are learning a trade, if you are the type that you have a future plan of you counting in millions, probably 50 million, 100 millions, even as an handwork, it is possible for you. Yes, that is a part. And if you are the type that, you feel like, the situation of things going around now, let me just go and learn this thing, then so that the money for you to just be eating and financing yourself little by little, it will be coming out of this thing. Then it is easier for you to now know that when I go to learn this trade, probably every day people wants to do here, women love doing it, then I can go for learning on trades like here, probably as a man or woman. So most time, if you are doing business, if you are going to go into trade, you need to know the particular trade. It is now left for you to decide that what is the kind of business that I'm willing to do in the nearest future. Because most time we are able to say 500,000, 1 million naira. Yes, I want to start business. At the end of the day, we'll end up wasting the money. So you will end up wasting this money, and we'll feel like, how do I waste this money? Because the environment we find ourselves at this time, a lot of factor is affected. We don't have a stable economy now. Like I was reading on Punch, is it last week or this thing? And we said a previous week, it's not even almost 3, in fact, it's not a week interval. I was reading, our naira appreciate against dollar. And now, just 2 days ago again, we discover our naira depreciate again. So, in this kind of environment, that is why most time when you go to the market today, I went to price this paper for 10 naira today. Before you get there tomorrow morning, in fact, tomorrow morning like this, you went there in this evening, they will tell you this thing they said they want to sell for you 10 naira is now 12 naira. And for you that is doing a business in one place, you are doing a business, you are a business owner, you've already sold this thing 10 naira. How do you add money to this when you are to buy it 12 naira? those are the factors that is actually affecting our business presently. So for you as a young sharp who is so smart, and you don't just need to waste money unnecessary, you need to plan for your money. In fact, you need to plan for your, because I used to tell people that money are just like, we may have opportunity to get some money, but at the end of the day, if we don't make use of those money, we'll just see it flies away like that. So, but when you already have plan for it, so there is no amount of money presently with the economy. When we are not all these big men that has money, or we have all these things. So for somebody that is just a small scale, a young youth that want to just start something for life, and you are able to raise up something like 200 or 500,000, if you are not careful, this money, when you start something with it, it will definitely go away. So the more reason why you always see, if some people venture into some kind of trade, you'll be like, chicken she mechanic now, don't she? And they're just, they are better off than somebody that is even a salary earner that is doing white collar job. So all these things requires our reasoning and putting things together, that, oh, this is what I want to do. And that is why on this page I advise you go for trade. Because if you go for trade, learn more skills, then even as at when you're learning skill, it's easier for you to know what you need and other things that you need to put in place, so that as you have learned a trade, then you'll be able to know that these are the things I need to put into this trade that I've learned. And before you know it, you become somebody that, oh, this is what he's doing and is making more money through this. So I talked about somebody who is a rewire, and he was buying car, and he would just furnish the interior. If he has to paint, he would paint. Then everything became new, and before you know it, he makes 100,000. And for honestly, in fact, this guy sometimes in just 1 month, he might sell like 3 cars like that, and he has made like 300,000 conveniently. No, he's the boss of himself. He's an entrepreneur. So indirectly, he's an entrepreneur. He's a business person. So he might buy some cars, 500,000. Then at the end of the day, he's able to spend like 200,000 on it. And if care is not taken, he sell the car like 800, and he has made 100,000 in just a couple of, because in 1 week he has already tidied up the car. And before you know it, in 2 months, he has sold like 2 or 3 cars. Do you know what will be coming into him now? So if you are starting a business, you need to consider all these things. So to somebody who is trying to start a livestock, I said it's better you rent a place. Then when you have rent that place, through the course of you renting and staying there for a year or 2 years, you would have known some of the secrets in those jobs. I don't know if you get it. So, and these are what we call managerial capacity, or somebody who want to, I don't even want you to go to buy and selling with the present conditions that we are in this our country today. And one thing we don't know about getting a trade is the fact that it will live with us forever. So even if economic situations are affecting it, it will not affect us, because this is a skill that we have acquired, that we have been able to learn. So the more reason why, if we are able to learn a trade, it is easier for us to succeed or survive any situations that we find ourselves in the present economy. Because somebody who is it was like that we were discussing this afternoon. He said, this is what they pay carpenters now. He said some carpenters, they get 8,000 naira now per day. Okay, as carpenters get 8,000 naira per day now, for you to now know that as we still talk and the economy is so bad now, people are still going to build house. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. people are still going to build house now. So that is the major reason why learning a trade will first save you from anything you want to do. You can now learn that trade at the end of the day, that you will now, maybe after you've had enough capital to start up, because we're talking about the financial constraint now. You have enough capital to start up, then you can now face this business in a bigger way. So the way we still, like I said, the way we still talk about, oh, things are hard, there are a lot of people that are still using car, despite the fact that fuel is still cost now. Despite the fact that people are saying everything is cost, we have not seen anyone going naked now. People are still sewing clothes. They are still doing ashwabi. So, as I talk to you again now, I'm trying to open your mind to trades that you can learn. You can put it on the screen too. So, trades that you can learn. People are still buying car. People are still using car, despite the fact that cars are going, in fact, the prices of cars are too high, and people are still buying it, and they are still using the car, and their car are still getting spoiled, and it still needs repair. So I still tell us that even if you are learning, somebody like me, if somebody asks me now to go and learn a mechanic, I want to tell you, I will not learn just a mechanic. I'm going to learn big lorry mechanic. You don't know their value until you leave Nigeria. Even mechanic alone, you don't know their value. It's just that the way we look at people in our environment, we just feel, oh, this. So sometimes all this, we want to be neat, we want to do this, may not help. But if you want to make money, we need to be dirty. As in, we need to just forget to say we want to be neat every time. So because there are some jobs that will involve you being dirty. Your clothes have to be dirty. So many things. In fact, people will look at you that, who is this safe? But you know millions that you are counting. Well, sometimes 3 years ago, there's a friend of mine that have a tipper, and though this truck gave them much money every week, in a month. But I want to tell you, if this money, if this person want to spend on this lorry sometime, he may spend 1 million naira. So now tell me that a mechanic who is a big lorry mechanic that's taking 1 million naira from you, are you telling me he's not going to make 100,000? Let's be sincere to ourselves. Either he's buying engine or buying anything for you, one way or the other. Even if you don't give the person money, the guy selling part will definitely compensate them. And if they are compensating them, they may compensate them 30,000, 50,000. Somebody that has come to buy a market of 1 million from you, they might compensate them 20,000 naira. So each time we are thinking of a trade, as a man, a young chap, or as a lady, a young chap, let us look at it in such a way that I want to do a business that at the end of the day, I want to be counting in millions. Let me now tell you one thing again. You have gone to learn a bricklayer. I said it last week that there are some bricklayer jobs that some people, when they see them, they are the one they even want to give buildings. Their own is to just employ an engineer. So at the present economy that we are, there are kinds of trades that you need to put into consideration. And to somebody who said he wants to learn a welder, do you know there are different types of welder? There are people we call iron benders. There are people we call blacksmith. There are people we call that use TIGs, and there are different types of welding. TIGs and MIG, all these arc weldings. So, and there are people that does trusses, those roofs that you do. I know in your street now, look at how much you have an overhead tank built with iron stanchion. Do you know how much they pay those people? Sometimes there's one man that got a contract sometimes over millions, over 50 million naira. And if you want to see this man now, you think it's just a welder. He got 50 million contract. And how many weeks does he want to use in that job? The highest weeks that he will use on that job is 3 weeks. Tell me somebody who got a 50 million naira contract. Tell me, is he going to just... I told one of my friends, he's an Igbo guy, he was selling iron something. I said, he should go and learn that kind of trade. Trusses, stanchion. When if he was finding a lot of things difficult. And today, he's doing well in it now. So, if somebody like that can do a job of 50 million in just 3 weeks, but this job has actually allowed you to go and learn for just maybe a year, and that's your year, just that's 1 year that you have used with that person, or 2 years, and you've gotten the required skills and expertise on this, then you now start your own. In one way or the other, after 1 year, you are able to get a job. And one thing about job is, if you are expert at your job, it is the job you have done somewhere that will lead you to another one. This is the secret of jobs. Look at me, somebody getting contract. I want to put myself in a position now. I want to tell you, a lot of jobs that I've done are the ones that bet out the next job for me. I don't know if anybody know. Anyway, I don't want to say the location, but if you know Ado-Ekiti very well, there is a job sometimes I did in an open place. If I want to tell you, as I talk to you, that job was able to bet me like 3 jobs. What happened? The person was saying, how he was surprised. How are we doing this job? How are we doing this? Before you know it, he collected my number. And at the end of the day, I was able to get another job from that person. And from there again, I got another job. So most time, if you are not expert at what you are doing, then it affects our productivity in the journey of our life. So the more reason why, when you are willing to learn, and you are the type that you feel that one day I want to be counting 10 million at a go. I want 50 million to be added to me. I want to see 1 million easily. I want to see 500,000 easily. Then, as a man or as a young woman, know the kind of job or the kind of trade that you'll be venturing into. I'm not condemning any trade now. So, and I'm not condemning any trade now, but I want us to know that there is a particular kind of job that you can always venture into if you are planning to learn a trade. I just made mention of somebody who is doing those iron roof. You are roofing. In fact, ask those people roofing. Ask them to make quotations for you. You will see 20 million, 30 million, 50 million. So somebody who is getting a job of 50 million, or those stanchions, all those public water system they do in your street, they will put tank on them. Do you know how much they do those jobs? Some are 10 millions, 9 millions as at 5 years ago. Some of them are being awarded 8 million naira, 7 million naira outside. And before you know it, somebody who is doing a job of 7 million. I've done that kind of job I did one at Ijero. I did one at Ise. I did one at Emure. So I was working with some company then. So I was able to go and do all these jobs there for them. So I know how much I get those jobs, those times. So if you are the type that one day you are planning to be someone who wants to work in millions, there are jobs that you need to learn. So nobody will tell you that this is there's no job that you cannot make it. In fact, I said I have a friend who is a shoemaker. Presently is in Abuja and he supplies shoes. But in most cases, is it everybody that is a shoemaker that will definitely have the chance of supplying schools shoes? So that is the more reason why you just have to work on things that are feasible and be expert in those things. So we're talking about effects, challenges that small scale business faces. So if you don't have money, you are having 500, you're having 300. I've done fish pond before, and because I didn't have capital and I don't have much knowledge on that managerial capacity, I didn't even know maybe one day erosion came to the fish pond area and took away the fish, or it was not secured. I don't know. So those are the things you need to put in place. So with the little I've said now, I know you should be able to know the kind of job that you need to put into consideration while you want to learn, where you want to sell, you want to get a trade. I can decide to just go and learn computer. I know more about computer system, know more about digital data processing, a lot of things about IT. If you are the type that one day you feel that when you even grow old, you can be inside your room and still be working with companies across the world, then you need to consider some kind of job. Oh, to somebody like me who has learned, I said I'm an engineer and I have gotten certificate, and at the end of the day, if I'm not still on site, there's no how that I will be effective as an engineer. So to somebody like me that, oh, I feel maybe one day I might grow old and I may not be able to even go to site like that. But to somebody like me that I still want to be inside my room and still work for people across the world, then I might decide to consider going to tech. And if to somebody like me, maybe I'm a nurse and I'm thinking one day, how long will I be going to hospitals? Then I might consider something that I know that probably if I have my own hospital, then I can begin to treat patients too, and a lot of things. So it's just that let us just have the more skilled we are and expert, the more expert we are on the job, then it opens us to a lot of opportunities. So we've talked about managerial capacity, then infrastructure support. Look at infrastructure support now, the third one. If I'm selling a fish, let's say I'm selling a fish, I got like 500,000 and I started a fish business. Or oh, let me not use fish safe. Let's say I started selling chicken, frozen foods. You understand those things? I remember sometimes that we were able to get a small shops space somewhere, and we started it. And at night, we didn't finish up with our pepper soup. So when we didn't finish, we put it on a fridge, and the fridge we put it to, there was light issue at that particular building that day, and there was no light at that night. I want to tell you, in the morning when we get there, you know, we'll have to come again in the night. So before we now get there to that, the fish are spoiled. So let's now put it in a kind of position that we've had a kind of 1 million naira stocked in a freezer, and at the end of the day, for 3 days, you don't have electricity. What do you think will happen to your business? Those are the little things that may definitely affect a small scale business. So somebody like me that doesn't have a generator that will be available for is a kind of source of electricity to that freezer, then it will spoil the market, and they will feel like, oh, how do I lost all these things? How does these things? So if you are doing a business, you just need to consider one of these things. Look at the environment. Somebody who, okay, now, let's say there's somebody here that is talking about dry cleaning, laundry. Somebody today gave me cloth. There was no light in my environment. I want you to listen. There was no light in my environment. And I have taken people's cloth. And maybe the clothes that I have taken, it shouldn't take more than 3 days before I deliver it to the person. And I want to deliver in the next 3 days. I was unable to deliver it because there was no electricity. Because if I didn't have electricity and I've taken this cloth, I have to wait for when there is light. It means that one way or the other, the person that have given me job today, the next week he will not give me job because I've been disappointing him. So these are one of the things you need to consider when starting a small scale businesses. Consider the infrastructure. Is it that you have good road network, you have transportation? You need to talk about the source of power, electricity. So if your light is not stable there, thinking about businesses that will require that you need light to function well in that kind of environment, then you will lose customer. It will affect the business. It won't grow. So whenever you're starting a business, just make sure you are considering all these factors. Somebody that is into poultry and you have your chicken, all these this little this thing, where is it pen they call it? I don't know. So you have taken them in thousands, and when at 1 week or 2 weeks they need steady electricity or steady heat in that environment, and your power supply is being affected. What will happen to those chickens that you're going to take from over thousands of them that you're going to take and put somewhere? Then it's going to affect it, and probably some of them will die, thereby causing loss in that aspect. So when we are doing business, consider different factors. There are a lot of factors that you need to consider because the situation of things. I was telling someone, I was saying that there are some things they sell around here now. Then we're now saying that why is it that all these things are always in refrigeration? It's not normal freezer, it's just in a refrigerator, then it's always cool. I said it's because they have steady power supply. So there are businesses that you cannot even do in our country, that even as a small scale business, you don't just venture into it, because at the end of the day, this is where the loss will come, because you don't have a steady power supply. So if you can identify this risk, then you'll be able to know that this kind of business, I don't think I need to venture into it now. So let us go to the regulatory environment. So sometimes I have said something. A lot of us, we only want to stay on what we have learned alone. As a tailor, I only learned how to do some old-fashioned clothes. Then I need to I know that a lot of clothes now that are involved and people are just wearing, I need to just go for knowledge. Go to my friends that I know that is doing different types of jobs on clothes, like all this weaving. You see them, different weaving. In fact, we know all those old weavings that they used to do then, that they will say, oh, they used to do in the part of the north. But as time goes on, things will change. If you have different innovations that you need to put that will make your work attractive, those years, let me use a mechanic now. I remember something. That's the rewire I told you then. You know, you use all this tester, put it on one side. You want to test, you do this. You start tracing the problem of a car. But let me now tell you, as a rewire that doesn't go to school those time, or does not try to just go and learn more, it may not even be that you need to go to school, but you don't go and learn more. And something has come that if you just put it in your car, plug it at a point in your car, it can diagnose all the system of your car. They call it diagnosis, and it will tell you the exact problem that is happening to your car. There was a time I was using Mazda Tribute, and that car was giving me problem there. And we didn't know what to do. We've changed all sort of things. Was it the water pump was just giving us problem? And what did we do? We have to invite somebody from another town. He brought that diagnosing machine. Then once he put it in where he wants to put it, is it the brain box area? I don't know. They used to put it somewhere. So when he detected the problem of these things, but what he just did, he didn't do anything. It was just his own is to just come and detect it, and then at the end of the day, he was able to, in just 1 hour, he is able to go with just almost 20,000 naira, just because he has that equipment. So that is why when you are doing a business, don't just stand alone. Make sure you have network of friends that they are doing the same kind of business. Then you'll be able to, when there is a new innovation or new ideas, you will be able to share with them. Then they will put you through that. This is one of the things that you need for you to make this business a successful one. So each time we are considering a business, I am a tailor, and I discovered that there are new types of clothes people are sewing now. Then it is very good for me. It's reasonable for me to go and learn more about the new type of job. Before people are now sewing wedding gowns, I can just decide to go and learn more about wedding gowns. As a rewire, a mechanic, I can go and buy that equipment too and know how to set it up. Then, in fact, all this welding that you are doing now back home in Nigeria, robots do them in some of the companies now. Robots. Robotic welding. The same TIG and MIG. So now, in that aspect, for somebody like you who says you are a welder before, if you're not careful, if you don't take time to go and know how the robotic machine works, you'll be useless at the end of the day. So some innovations has made some jobs. Is it not sometimes years back that when you want to enter a room, you just have to use key, and it's at a point in time you have to use card to unlock a door of a room or a bank. You have to press the button and the door will open. So innovations keep evolving, and as it is evolving, you need to just follow it up like that, so that one will not be relegated at the end of the day. So if you want to be relevant in your business, you need to put all these things into consideration. Work on the business, work on what you can do, what I can add to my business that will make it reasonable and that will not make me lose customer. That will make people, even if I'm in, I used to tell people, you may stay in Ondo State, Akure, and people from Lagos will be coming to you to come and do car. You may be in Ibadan. People from Ekiti will be coming to you that, oh, take that vehicle to that guy in Ibadan. So it is the level at which you have built yourself that will definitely hold your customers. So all these little things, we should take note of them. We have talked about financial constraints. There are bigger courses, and well, I just want us to shorten them. Their managerial capacity. Secondly, I've talked about infrastructural support. I've talked about regulatory environment. So market competition. So I just talked about, I'm talking on a little scale on this thing now. I just talked about we selling our provision store little by little then, and somebody else came and opened shop very close to us, and at the end of the day, he took all the customer. He was selling in wholesales. What will happen to our business? At the end of the day, we may not have much sales again, because people want to go and buy lesser in different environment like that. So let me just give the little time that is remaining to attend to people. And if you have a question, then I'll bring 2 people up there. We'll keep answering them. If you're available, just signify. I'll pick you up. Let us have it as a kind of discussion. Then how can a business survive? The question is, how can a business survive this economic condition, the situation of the country today? Because before you know it, if you go and buy something, at the end of the day, when you get there tomorrow morning, you discover the price has increased. So how can you survive the economic condition as a small-scale business in Nigeria at the present economy that we find ourselves? Please, if you are there, just signify it. I'll pick you up. Then we'll just have a little discussion. If you're not free to open your camera, don't worry. But I'm willing to pick anybody up if you are willing to join us on this discussion. So, what are the effects? What are the things that affect a small scale? So, when next you are trying to learn a business, you are putting a business up, or you want to learn a trade, consider a lot of things. If you're the type that is willing to go into having to do with a bigger money, know the kind of job you will consider. And if you are the type that you want to one day, oh, let me be doing this and to just support my husband, there are kind of jobs you can do as a lady. And even there are makeup artists, people that does makeup, that they are in millions. There are even barbers that are in millions. But is there everybody that will be a celebrity barber? Is there everybody that will be a makeup artist, a celebrity makeup person? So those are the things we need to consider when we are doing businesses. So who is there? Let us have 20 minutes of discussion before we round up today gist. Who is there to tell us what exactly, or let me just, maybe I should put it this way. If you have I purposely don't post it that I will be coming by 6 p.m. I just want people that knows that they just want to do something like normal business. Not that because I've posted it I'll be here by 6. People will just keep coming. But it's just, even if it's just 5 person, this is the way we can talk to ourselves. The other people might just listen to them later